Imagine being able to build anything.
Good evening. This episode of the Intraday Price Action Recap is being brought to you by the Smart Money Manuscript. Hello, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., and I'm the creator of the Smart Money Manuscript. But Tim, what is the Smart Money Manuscript? The Smart Money Manuscript is your roadmap to financial freedom. That's right, your roadmap to financial freedom. Inside, we're going to be discussing things for absolute beginners who never even heard of the stock market or don't know what the stock market is. We're going to teach what is the stock market, what is a stock, what is an index. We're going to teach all of that. We're going to talk about options. We're going to talk about futures. We're going to talk about fundamental analysis, technical analysis. Speaking of technical analysis, we're going to take a deep dive into the ICT concepts. We're going to discuss how to figure out how much you need as an individual to save for your personal retirement. We're going to talk about retirement portfolios. So if you want to be a long-term buy and hold investor, if you want to be a swing trader, if you want to be a day trader, if you want to trade stocks, if you want to trade options, if you want to trade futures, the Smart Money Manuscript is for you for $69.99. Yes, $69.99 for all of this here. Good evening, everybody. Hopefully y'all doing good this evening. Hopefully you are doing well this evening. If this is your first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, please allow me, with everything in me, to say welcome. If it's not the first time tuning in to Tim's Tidbits, I still want to say welcome. But I want to give you a nice hearty, well, thank you for always tuning in for Tim's Tidbits. If you don't know who I am, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr., a.k.a. Haranya Grande. That's just Big Spider, if you don't hablo español. And like you saw in the promo beforehand, this is the Price Action Recap, and it is being brought to you by the Smart Money Manuscript, which will be coming out soon, hopefully, if these folk can get their platform together. People, you probably be thinking like, Tim, why not just release it now? Who cares if the people can just go through all the way to the end if they want to? Because it's designed to be looked at in a certain order, right? You remember back in the day when we used to make albums and people then they used to have LPs and people that they ain't release singles because the album was meant to be enjoyed in a certain order, right? It's meant to be digested in a certain order. So I don't want you to skip over the beginning and go to the end. Matter of fact, the other night when we was doing a sneak peek of something all the way back in the beginning, somebody said, man, taking this quiz making me realize I really need this course. And this was something way back at the beginning. I think we was talking about fundamentals, right? Because the things that we take for granted and we think we just know, guess what? That's the stuff we lacking on the most, because we looking for, hey, Tim, what's your entry model? What's the best entry model? When I be on like Tremaine live stream And I promise you, every single day, somebody asks the same question. Hey, which one of the ICT mentorships do you recommend a beginner start with? None of them. A beginner should not be starting with any of the ICT mentorships. A beginner needs to start with the core content. Everybody want to just jump to the fun stuff. You want to jump to the fun stuff. Well, how about if I just take the 2022 mentorship? He give one model. Have you taken the core content to understand the PD arrays that he's talking about in that model? No, you haven't. Have you taken the core content to understand IPTA's order flow and price delivery? No, you haven't. So you don't need to look at any ICT mentorships until you've got a clear understanding of the core content. But Tim, how can you say that? Michael himself says, all I need is this, because Michael is sick and tired of y'all, and he giving you what you want. You can only lead a horse to the water. You can't make him drink. Sit back for yourself and think about how he released the content, right? What did he release first? Did he release a mentorship first? Or did he release the content first? He released the content first, right? He released the content. He was publicly releasing bits and pieces of it, right? And then his students kept selling his stuff, so he released all of it. And when he released every bit of the core content, then he gave you the 2022 mentorship with one model. Then he gave you the 2023 mentorship. Then he gave you the 2024 mentorship. And now he's getting ready to do the 2025 mentorship. But he gave you the information first. Because what's the point of having mentorship if you ain't got the education first? Once you get the education, then you need to be mentored on how to use it properly. But everybody want to know what's the best entry model. Get off my life. Michael's stuff is not disjointed, Steve. You know why it's disjointed, Steve? Because you're not doing it right. You're going to the mentorships instead of going through the, if you go through the core content, there's nothing disjointed about it. If you go through the core content from month 1 to month 12, you learn all the foundational stuff. And then once you learn all the foundational stuff, each mentorship builds with more and more and more and more clarity of how to tie it all together. The core content doesn't promise you how to, he tell you, this is not mentoring. You're just learning now. Mentoring is you sitting down with me, watching me go through the charts on a day-by-day basis. That's mentoring. The core content, there's nothing disjointed about it. Now, when he was originally releasing stuff, yes, that's very disjointed. Why? Because he had a paid mentorship that people paid to get it in a nice, neat package. And he was releasing bits and pieces of it for free, trying to see if people will pick up on the clues that he was leaving behind. But when you look at the core content from month 1 through month 12, you get all the foundation of all of his concepts. And then the mentorships, he's teaching you how to utilize the concepts. And he's always telling you, I'm showing you all of this so that you can pick your qualifier, meaning which PD array you choose to focus on as your entry requirement. He tell y'all, you don't have to use it all. You need to understand what's going on and you pick what you want to use as your qualifier. People ask me all the time, which PD array is the best? None of them. They're all the same. Every last one of them, they're the same. The most important thing is time and price. If you understand the time you're supposed to be looking at the charts, right? If you understand the time-based liquidity, if you understand order flow and price delivery, right? It's scary how to the tick you can predict what price is going to do. It's spooky, right? But everybody want to know the fun stuff. Everybody just looking for the patterns. Ooh, a fair value gap. I got to buy them. Ooh, a fair value gap. I got to sell them. Why? Why are you selling there? Are you in a buy program? Are you in a sell program? Are you in a premium? Are you in a discount? Has the manipulation happened yet? Are you accumulating? Or are you distributing? What are you doing? What is price doing? Oh, I don't know. I just saw a fair value gap. He said if I get a break in market structure, I retrace back to a fair value gap and pull to buy it. Good luck. Hey, here, go ahead. Take this little ticket here and get over there in the reset line over there at my funded futures. Go over there and get in the reset line at Apex. Or go over there and get in the reset line at Top Step. Who in here tonight, man? Y'all do me a favor. I don't know if I'm gonna do any class participation tonight, but in case I decide to, there's a link pinned to the top of the chat in YouTube. Click on that link and join us over here in Zoom. Come on over here. Hold on, y'all give me a second. I gotta do something. I forgot to do something. If Price did something today, emergency call. What? If Price did something today that caught you off guard, right? Like I said, it's the link in it that's pinned to the chat, to the top of the chat on YouTube. Feel free, click on that link, right? And then unmute and say, hey, Tim, I was expecting Price to do this, but Price did that. Will you look at Price with me and try to help me figure out what I missed? I really would appreciate it. And I said, okay, let's go look at Price. What were you expecting Price to do? Then you'll tell me. And I'll say, why was you expecting Price to do that? Then you'll tell me. And I say, okay, let's go look and see what IPTA was telling you and see what you missed. All right. Yeah, we'll do that. What's happening, Rhonda? Rhonda popped up in there. Kind of scared, man. I was looking down. I just seen somebody pop up. Something yellow caught my attention. I looked up and Rhonda was staring right at me like this. Not smiling or nothing.
Funny.
Rhonda making them eat cake with that hair. What they call that, a wrap? Rhonda got that wrap laying on her shoulders, looking silky smooth. Make the kids eat cake. Yes, sir. Hey, I don't see nothing in the chat. So I'm assuming Price did exactly what everybody expected Price to do today. So we can go ahead and wrap it up here. We don't need to cover Price. Oh, I forgot to see who was in here. Let's see who up in here. I see, of course, Rhonda up in here. I see Lump up in here. We got Seawalk in here. It fell a little short of the previous week high. It did. It fell a little short of the previous week high. What? Hoping it was. What's that word you used on that second sentence, Earl? What is that word? I can't even read it. Earl, unmute and tell me what that first word is on that second sentence you just typed in the chat. I no hablo inglés. What is that word right there, Earl? What does that say? No hablo inglés. What does that say? Somebody tell me what Earl typed in the chat. What is that word Earl just typed in the chat? We got Lump up in here, Seawalk up in here, Earl up in here, Earl speaking a total different language right now. Rhonda up in here. Stevie up in here. Hit Learn and Share up in here. Who else we got in here? I see Kim up in here. Hey, I see more numbers than I see names, but them are the only names that I see. So that's all I'm gonna say. Now, Earl, let me explain. The chart looked like it was completing a buy program. Okay, yeah, I got that part, but I was just talking about that first word you was using right there. Back up to the previous week. I got that part, but what was that word you used? What was that word you used? He said, I got what you was saying. What don't we do? What don't we do when it comes to price action? Right? We don't try to force what we want. We don't hope. We don't. We now we've all sat down and talked to our monitors. By the show of hands, whoever talked to their monitor when they was in a trade, whoever talked to their monitor. Whoever talked to their monitor real loud when they was in a trade. Walk, you ever talk to your monitor when you was in a trade? Rhonda, you ever talk to your monitor? Rhonda raised her hand. whoever,
Yeah,
whoever
I
talk,
definitely used to.
whoever talked to their whoever talked to their monitor. Hey, all right. So let me share my screen, right? Earl said that he was anticipating. If y'all look at my chart, right? If y'all look at my chart, as you can see, we have drawn very nigh to the previous week and previous month's high. That is the previous month's high too. I just got the monthly high blocked out because I didn't want all them lines showing. But if I do that, you can see that's the monthly high popping in there also. So when we were going into the month of August, right, which would have been here. This is when the month of August started right here. All right. This is when the month of August started. Everything to the right of that line is August price action, right? When we were going into the month of August, we said that we were entering a new month, right? We were going into a seasonality of the market where it's typically bearish based off of historical performance. We said that we were extended in our buy program and we were anticipating a pullback or retracement or whatever you want to call it, right? So, and we said since we're anticipating price moving into a short-term sale program on the higher time frames, it would be healthy price action if we were to take out the prior month's high before starting that retracement slash pullback slash whatever you want, right? So when we opened up the month, we dropped down. No, we did not get our eagle on, but we took out sell side liquidity. Then once we took out that sell side liquidity, right, we looked at, well, y'all wasn't there. That was on the monthly lecture last night with the mentees. But we looked at how we started to come back up and was looking to complete a market maker buy model. And completing that market maker buy model would fulfill the healthy price action of taking out the prior month's high before starting a retracement lower over the season, the bearish season, right? Looking for August and September to be more of the bearish times. August is typically the chop slop, right? We looked at the statistics for August over the last 5 years, and it's pretty much flat. It's flat, but slightly to the negative side. So that means if it's flat, that means it went up, it went down, but it closed pretty much where it started, but slightly to the negative side over the last 5 years, on average. And then September was like over 2% down on average over the last 5 years. So August. So what does that mean? What does that sound like to you? Right? Just think about it. Think about the ICT concepts. Let me get my air horn. Class participation time. Class participation time. Do me a favor. I don't know how long the class participation is going to last. I don't know if I'm just going to keep asking questions or if I'm just going to ask one question and just keep on about my business. But do me a favor. And I'm not looking at the chat. I'm not reading. What do we do in class participation? We unmute and we talk. If you don't want to unmute and talk, the door's over there. There's plenty of live streamers and YouTubers that don't require class participation. All I ask is that you give me some class participation. That's all I ask. I don't even ask people to subscribe. I don't even ask people to press the like button. Every now and then I might say share it if you got something out of it, but I don't just be cramming that down your throat. I just want you to participate in class. So click on the link that's pinned to the top of the chat. Come over here in the Zoom, right? And participate. Now, I see how many people say we're on Zoom, and I see how many people say we're on YouTube. All right. Click on the link and pull up while I take me a sip of water and while I get my countdown ready. Here we go with this countdown. That's why his channel ain't growing. Because he always trying to make people do stuff what they don't want to do. I'm finna unsubscribe right now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I need some more water.
And what's the countdown for?
I told people to click on the link and come into the Zoom. The link is no longer in the chat. Only one person came over from YouTube. With that being said, thank you for tuning in to Tim's Tidbits. I hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Spend some time away from the charts and spend time with your family. Until the next time I decide to get on Al Gore's internet and share my thoughts on this thing that they call price action. Y'all be safe out here in these trading streets, man.